Hello guys, my name is Anna and I'm from Ukraine, and I vlog daily to keep you updated on the real-life situation in my country, Ukraine, as the war with Russia continues. We must stay strong and united. We must win this war because it is existential not only for Ukrainians but also for the rest of the normal world. At least I believe so. Honestly, I was not very much in the mood to record today because of some personal issues and my mom's health. Uh, I know that I don't share much, and all of you hope that things are going to be good, but sometimes it's not always like that. So, if I'm not here for a day or two, please understand this situation. But I felt like it's important to explain the Brovary catastrophe of a helicopter because this is a huge tragedy for Ukrainian people during these dark times of war. We don't know at the moment what happened, but the investigation by SBU takes place and there are three versions. But first of all, why is it so bad? Because many people, 16 people, died in the result of this catastrophe. 3 children and 9 representatives of the Ministry of Internal Affairs, including the Minister of Internal Affairs. In Ukraine, Ministry of Internal Affairs is responsible for police and for National Guard. So these are many men and women who are now fighting on their fronts to protect Ukraine from Russia. And it is an important ministry and an important minister during wartime. I don't know many differences between the Ukrainian armed forces and the National Guard, but the National Guard belongs to the responsibilities of the Ministry of Internal Affairs, contrary to Ukrainian armed forces that are under Ministry of Defense. In National Guard, we have 50,000 men and women serving, and during war, their number grew to 90,000. So these are a lot. And they not only patrol war zones or protect important infrastructure objects, but they also fight together with the Ukrainian armed forces soldiers. So I hope you understand that this ministry is important. Like any ministry is important, every life is important, but during war we have to explain these things too. So what actually happened? Early in the morning today, the helicopter was set on fire while flying already in the air, and it collapsed. And the problem is that it collapsed on a kindergarten, and 3 children and some of their parents died in the result of this catastrophe, which is also a tragedy. From what we understand, the pilot was flying in a heavy urban area, and there were lots of high-story buildings, and he did not have a choice and decided to fall on a small building. Perhaps he did not realize, these are like minutes, he did not realize that it was a kindergarten. He simply compared a 12-story building to a 2-story building and chose a 2-story building to collapse. I predict that many of you can ask, it's not wise to fly in Brovary, which is a town heavily inhabited. Of course, and normally when we don't have war, helicopters do not fly over these territories. They have their routes, and even if they have to travel through or above cities and towns, they follow prospects and other territories that are free from civilian infrastructure. But during wartime, helicopters, planes, they have to choose specific routes, and they have to be careful, and it's very often that this route is changed every day so that our enemies don't know. From what we understand right now, the team of the Minister of Internal Affairs who died in this accident were traveling to one of the hot zones in Kharkiv region, and they were flying in that direction. And every time they fly, every time any military or political leader of Ukraine is flying, they change the route so that orcs cannot predict and hit the helicopter. That's why even if we will know that the reason was not Russian terrorists or something else, we will understand that still it is the result of war in Ukraine, because the change of the route led to this tragedy and the death of so many people. At the moment, SBU has 3 versions. why it happened. Version number one, because of some wrong actions of pilots and weather conditions, which is a standard version for any catastrophe of a plane or a helicopter. Reason number two is that it was because of some malfunctioning in a helicopter. And this may be true because these helicopters, when they were bought, there were scandals because many of these helicopters were bought previously by Norway for the service on oil production things somewhere in the sea. And a couple of catastrophes happened, and Norway declined the order and returned back these helicopters because they believed they are not safe enough to use them. Poland planned to buy this kind of helicopters and also decided not to because of such news and problems from Norway. And Ukraine decided to save money and bought these helicopters. It happened before the war with a different minister of internal affairs, and he was like blamed for that in the process when he was buying these helicopters. And one more reason that can be very likely is that it is a Russian terract, because Russian agents are present everywhere. They know how to work with details, and the fact that the helicopter was caught on fire in the air, so some of its engines started firing or something else may mean that too. So today is a very bad day in Ukraine. Actually, we have lots of bad days, but I don't know. For me, it is always a very bad feeling when so many good people die in one moment. And I don't know, like, I don't want to touch this question of the Polish president and lots of beautiful Polish people who died in a plane crash in Russia, because I know that many political parties manipulate that, and I'm far away from Polish internal politics. But I so much hate Russians, and I so much believe they are capable of doing many bad things, and maybe lots of terrorists and tragedies that happened all over the world, and we do not connect them with Russia. We're actually connected with Russia. But this is my subjective opinion. And today Ukrainians mourn the people who died in the catastrophe, and also children and their parents who were simply coming to the kindergarten early in the morning. But all places in Ukraine, all days in Ukraine during this war are dangerous. I'm very grateful that you care about my country and my people. I'm grateful for your support that you demonstrate in comments, in your good wishes, and honestly, I feel like you are my friends that I value very much in my life. And believe me, this kind of communication that we have gives me much support, very much support that is needed. Thank you for buying me coffees. Thank you for becoming my patrons. Thank you for letting me know that our videos, Soviet myths debunked, and my updates are important to you. And thank you that my country and this war is important to you. We have to win. Slava Ukraini!